Previously on the morning news.
Now we got Jason Crispin.
Squint your eyes. You can almost see those pictures clearly when they're on TV.
It comes with this little warning label on it right here.
When you were a teenager, would you have been happy to see this catalog coming home?
When I was a teenager?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think my parents were.
This is Pigs Peak. Pigs Peak. We've got a segment coming up. John's climbing in front of the building.
Then it's a nice little ride there.
Whoa. Larry hop up not. K2,
Nice
but not
job.
bad, right, Heidi?
All right, this was awesome.
Woo! Woo! All right.
A giant of a man at 7'1" and 275 pounds, Wilt Chamberlain revolutionized the way the center position was played, and in the process, revolutionized the game of basketball itself.
The NBA was struggling. Wilt came in and all of a sudden everything took off because at that time you had the Wilt-Russell matchups, which were unbelievable. But Wilt it was a small league, small towns. Wilt came in and a lot of people took notice of the NBA.
Certainly the game was played differently once he came along, and I think that big men in general were looked upon a little bit better as better athletes after Wilt Chamberlain came through.
When Chamberlain first entered the league in 1959, there was only one other player 7 foot tall, and the average height of the starting centers was 6'9". So opposing defenses resorted to doubling and triple teaming the Big Dipper, but to no avail.
Well, no matter how many guys was hanging on to him, he could just take you up in the air and just dunk the ball.
There was no individual or team actually going to stop Wilt Chamberlain from doing what he was going to do.
He didn't bully anybody on the court. I think if he bullied somebody on the court, he probably would have scored 120 that night and averaged 60 that season. He had an attitude that he didn't want to hurt anybody, and his favorite shot was a fadeaway, so he didn't really use his height.
Professional basketball during that period of time was a dirtier game. It was not more physical, but it was a dirty game, and players would deliberately try to hurt you. And he was one of those players that just never seemed to bother.
As is evident by the fact Chamberlain never fouled out of a game and played an astonishing 45 minutes a game for his career. Chamberlain was so dominant in the paint, averaging more than 50 points a game during the 61-62 season, that the NBA felt compelled to do something about it.
He changed the rules. The offensive and defensive goaltending and countless other ways the game was called by the officials was because of Wilt Chamberlain.
The Chamberlain-inspired rule changes included widening the lane to 16 feet to keep him further away from the basket, made offensive goaltending illegal to stop him from tipping in his teammates' shots while the ball was still in the cylinder, and on free throws, made it illegal for the shooter to leave the line before releasing the ball, thus preventing Chamberlain, a notoriously poor free throw shooter, from getting a running start on his own misses. Despite the changes, Chamberlain, an outstanding high jumper and shot putter at the University of Kansas, continued dominating the game with his superior athleticism.
He did what he wanted to do. Like I say, if Wilt wanted to say, I'm going to lead the league in assists, I'm going to lead the league in field goal percentage, I'm going to lead it in this or that, he did it. He could do what he wanted to do on the basketball court.
Despite all his skills in scoring and rebounding prowess, Chamberlain failed to win an NBA title in his first 7 seasons in the league. That's when he revolutionized his game.
When I left Philadelphia, Alex Hannon became the coach, and the first thing Alex did was sit Wilt down and say, Wilt, you've averaged 50 a game, you've held every scoring record, you haven't won a thing. We don't need your scoring. What we need from you is rebounding, blocking shots, and especially passing.
Not coincidentally, his first title came in 1967 despite, at that time, a career low in scoring, but a career high in assists. He transformed himself into one of the best passers in the league and is still the only center to lead the league in assists.
He was a consummate team player. He really was late in his career. He could pass the ball. He was a great defender. He could still score. I think the best shot blocker that ever played the game.
Chamberlain's critics say he was selfish and paled in comparison to Bill Russell, who is widely acknowledged as the ultimate team player. Yet 2 of the greatest championship teams in NBA history, the '67 Sixers and the '72 Lakers, were both centered by Wilt Chamberlain. I'm Bob Fossella.